Hi, Internet viewers. This is Frank Rauscher again. We're going to keep on working on the cardinal. I marked up both sides of the face so that you have, excuse me, the beak line through there, the cheek in, the eyes on both sides. So everything should be right there. And what I'm going to do is move the camera down so that you can see what I'm going to do as far as the detailing and undercutting along the face. So give me a second and I'll switch the camera around so that you can see what we're trying to project for the next stage. Thank you. Okay. Like I said, we have all the markings in, and what I want to introduce you to again, this one here is a Coalwood detail burning unit. I use this for texturing as well as, excuse me again, for burning in the beak area and to make these cuts in there so that we have them defined, because the beak itself is from this point out is too far. It's really about maybe 3/16 to here and 3/16 to here. And right now that corner has to move back to that point right in there. So I'm going to use this, and it works this way. The Coalwood, I have several different ones. I have the PJL Enterprises and other units as well for wood burning. And what I do is I have the switch here which turns it on, and I can dial up my temperature, and from there this heats up and away we go. So just want to introduce you to some of the equipment I use, and I'm going to come in and burn in the beak area. So let me come in here. Now I'm going to follow that pencil line, but I'm not going to go all the way out to the end. And I'm going to just do the same thing on the other side. Come in here, hit right on the line, and that line arcs a little bit. If you look at the drawing, excuse me, this has a slight arc, and what I do is I go slightly below the point when I run that burn line in, because that's the shape of the beak. It starts out here, it arcs up off of what would be the beak line, and then comes back down just below the tip of the beak. And what I want to do is do it again, because we got such a distance to go in, and we're going to undercut along here that I'm really pressing in on the back there at the same point, just so we don't lose it. I'll stick that in there, and hopefully that'll do the job. If not, we'll come back and revisit it again, and we'll burn in the additional lines just to make sure that we got everything in. Oops, sorry. Now, what I'm going to do is come in here now, and I'm going to get what I call a bullet. It could be a flame tip, could be a variety of things that you use. I use a bullet shape diamond, and again I'm using a RAM 45,000 RPM machine, which is this unit here, and I've been using these for eons. This is an older model, but they have much newer ones, and it's a dial up speed here, And I usually run it full out, and then I turn it on and I turn it off with the off switch here. You also have it where you can go in reverse or forward depending on how you like to drag on it. So I'm going to come in here now. Hope you can follow me. This line that comes from the middle of the head here down to this corner, I'm going to undercut. I'm leaving the pencil line there, but I'm going to get this diamond and I'm cutting this corner around here. And hope you guys can see it okay. So I undercut it. Oh, not quite a 16th. So what happens is, what I want to do now is triangle. I want to slope it from this burn to this center line. So I want to flatten out these. So between this line and this line is one big slope. So I'm going to get this bit, and I'm using the back end, which is like a barrel. And I'm sloping that right on back to where I undercut that line. I'm taking that right back in and trying to get all of this flat best I can. I'm just not trying to round off this beak yet. I'm just creating the shape. So I don't know if you can see that well or not. I'm going to get a pencil and go back in where, here it is again, where I undercut it. And we're pretty flat in there. We're not perfect, but I'm going to come back in and just smooth out whatever I missed on the first go around here. So I slide that all the way back in. Okay. Now, we're going to do the same thing on the bottom side. We have this C right here. And then it came out, and then it went up. So what I want to do is undercut the C from inside, leaving the pencil line there. Okay, I'll say right at the moment, I'm going down about a 16th. Roughly. Okay, and then we did have a line, as you see, then it came straight out, and then we went up with it. So I'm looking at this area in here. If we look at this in profile, I need to trim that off. So what I'm going to do is get the barrel, lay it right down the middle of the center line here, and try to take that back right to that pencil line. So what we have in profile here, we have the material reduced underneath the beak here, and it follows that pattern line. And we won't get it right until we do both sides, but right for the moment, I'm just trying to get this in here on one side. Now, so I don't lose it, I'm going to come back in and put my center line so I know where I'm at. And eventually, when we reduce this width of the beak here, we're going to come across here like this to this side. Okay, and that'll get reduced under there. And we have like a corner we got to take down yet, and you got one over here, but we're just working on the beak. So I'm going to go to the other side now, and we have the center line to the burn line. I'm going to undercut from here all the way down, and then I'm going to slope it from here to here. There we go. I'm going to undercut it right here. And again, I'm leaving the pencil line for this undercut. Then we have the burn, and we have the center line up here. Now I'm going to slope this so from this valley we created right here. I'm going to slope that in. So here we go. I do want to keep the center line of the head still there, so I know that I don't lose control of it. Now I'm going to look at it, see what I've created. I have this undercut right here. I have it going back to here. I've got the C coming down, and it comes out, and it comes up. So this portion down here has to go away when I move in here. So that side doesn't look too bad right now. So I'm going to undercut the C here. Like I said, about a 16th down. Excuse me. Sorry about that interruption again. Here we go. So I'm going to come in and clear this out. And flatten it. So from that undercut we made right here down to this burn line right here, we have a nice slope on either side. Now I'm going to come in on this side and go from the center. We have this pencil line right here. And if I look, I still have material underneath that. So I am going to undercut that. Right into there. So still have material back there. Take that back. There we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to get the pencil, put it in where the C is. There's your line coming out. And then, there's your line going up to the tip of the beak. Now, like I said, this will eventually come around here, come around here like this. But this beak, when you look at it, is so wide. And in reality, I put two marks about 3/16 on either side. And if I run this line up like this, parallel to the center line of the beak here, this point here has to come all the way back to here. Likewise, on this point here, the corner of the beak actually has to be back here, and I'm going to show you how to get into that. But the first thing I'm going to do is burn in again, because we're going to distance in, and I don't want to lose this beak line, so I'm going to push this in more on both sides. Come back here one more time. You can see the smoke flying. Now that I have that pushed in, I'm going to come in now. And like I said, I came up 3/16 off of here and 3/16 off of here. Drew a line parallel to the center line. And that means I have to take this point and move it back to here. So what I'm going to do is get that bullet and just flatten everything right in here. And here we go. I'll show you how to do that. Let me heavy that up a little bit more so you can see it. So here's the line. And how I reduce it is I come in here and flatten all this to that line as if I'm slicing it down. So I'm going to come in here. Right up to that line. Then I'm going to come around to C. I'm going to dry that. Right up to the line. So everything from back here is pushed in. Actually, the line is right here. You get this back in here so you can see it. So now I've pushed that point back. I've flattened all this, but I still have to get into that corner. That corner is not down yet. So I'm going to lay that in there and clean that out. I'm going to come down into this C and clean that out. So the new corner of that beak is back here now, which is getting closer to that line. So I'm starting to lose the burn. That's why I burn deep. So I'm going to go back in and touch it up again so I don't lose that line. So I'm going to go back here, press in. Right there. Then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. We have, this isn't as deep. This side tends to need more work getting it down. This side, we're not as, we're a lot left material has to come off. So I'm going to come in here And just flatten that beak right up to that pencil line. Come around here and drive that C down to that point too, so that when we look in, that C is much further back than where we started from. This beak line in here is not back far enough. So I'm trying to get a flat in there. So here's your line coming around. Here's your C coming back. And then it shoots out this way. Same way over here. So sometimes you have to do this in a couple of stages to get this just right. So once I get, shut this off a second. I'm going to go back in and burn this side just to hold that beak edge where the split is. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to burn that in. I'm going to come over here. Get that beak edge in there. Burn it. Okay, now what I want to do now is to take this slope again from here to here and flatten it out. So we have like a slope from center line down to the burn line on the beak. And we're going to do the same thing on the bottom here. Let me mark this up again. We have this line, and this line, and this line. I'm going to slope from here to here. So I'm coming in, and I'm flattening all this right on back into the C. So everything is flattened on an angle from here to here. Don't get it at first. You can come back and keep on pushing it. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Of course, we drove this point in pretty deep. Now we want to slope from here. Let me get that center line so you can see it again. I'm going to drive that right back in there. Okay. And I'm going to come in on the C, which is this portion here, and come out. And I'm going to slope this. The center line. Okay. We have a pretty good reduction in there. This is now coming from here around and back. The C is coming from here. Still a little rough. And then this goes up. Same way over here. Came out, then up. Now, I'm going to pencil this in again so you can see it. And the last stage I'm going to do on this beak, I'm going to come in just to clean that up a little bit, and this angle up a little bit. So it's going from the center line to the burn, both top and bottom. I'm going to show you. I'm going to come in with the burning pen again, just to make sure I got the back corner here okay. Get some of that in there, like that. Let me just take that out just a little further, but not to the very end. I'm going to do the same thing back here. I'm going to go all the way back in there. I'm coming out. So you have a look like that. Okay. Now, here's what I want to do. All right. The last thing I want to do here is I want to round this bottom edge so that it rolls around the bottom center line, and the same way with the top. We don't want a hard edge on there at all. So what I'm going to do is come in just like we had before. We had that slope, but I want to get rid of this edge right on top. We'll refine this a little bit later too, but for now, and we'll sand it out, but I just want to smooth this as best I can with the bits by using a very light touch and get rid of that real hard edge so that the beak does roll around right in there. Then I'm going to do the same exact thing on the bottom. I'm going to pull this in a little bit more. Just to make an adjustment. Beak was just a little too fat out there. And cleaning this up. Okay. I think that should do it. We will go back and put the center line in again so that you can see that we have a slight rolled edge now, which is coming across here, and the same way on the bottom. And that's rounded over, okay? And we got the beak pretty well done. So I'm going to come in here later and refine this one more time to pull it in. But what I want to get to is in the next video here, get the cheek and the eye in, and then we also will mark the top of the head here so you can see how that goes as well. And I would hope that you enjoyed what you saw on the video. And if you would subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up, I'd really appreciate it. It would help me out greatly. And I will take you on to the next stage, doing the cheek and the eye, and then reducing this material up on the head so we have more of a point. So see you in the next video. Bye.